Welcome to Environmental Science. My name is Alicia DeToro, or Dr. DeToro, and I will be your instructor this quarter. I'm creating this video to just introduce you to the syllabus and guide you through this first part of the class. Welcome. I'm very excited to share with you all my interest in the subject of environmental science. You are most likely here because you want to fulfill a science requirement, which is great. Because in my opinion, we need more people to understand the importance of environmental science. So I am happy that you're here for whatever reason you choose to be. I really like this diagram that I have here in our syllabus because it shows the interdisciplinary nature of the subject. And what I mean by that is each of these subjects here that I'm sure you've heard of one or a few of them. Those are disciplines, and what environmental science is it's interdisciplinary. So there might be a little bit of economics, there might be a little bit of geology. I mean, in that I can already think of the subject of fossil fuels and the impacts of climate change in those two subjects. So when we study environmental science, we're not looking at a compartmentalized subject or discipline. We're actually looking at the interactions of all the variables, or as many as we're able to analyze. And that's a unique aspect of the subject. And it's one that I actually really like. And you might find it interesting as well. So as I mentioned, I'm Alicia. You can call me that if you'd like. If you feel more comfortable being formal, you can call me Dr. DeToro. Here is my faculty webpage in the college. There's some information about me there if you'd like to look. My office hours will be via Zoom Tuesday and Thursday, 2 to 4, but I'm very open to meeting other times if you let me know with 24 hours advance notice, and that's not including the weekend. So just message me and we'll work something out. And the same for any types of issues that you may come up with in class. If something happens, please message me in Canvas and communicate with me so that I can do what I can to help you succeed in the class. On your own, I'm going to ask you to look at these resources that I've shared here that I believe will help you succeed in this course. My goal is to help you do that. I don't create anything with trickery in mind. I don't play games. I actually want you to succeed because of the content of this class. It's important to our society that you understand this, and it's important to me that you leave with a positive experience when you associate with environmental science. I don't want you to think of it as, oh no, not that. I want you to think of, yes, let's figure out solutions and have a positive outlook, and let's embrace the facts of the science. So you do not need to buy a text. Oh, I forgot something up here. Course details. I mean, right now, this is just a list of different topics we're going to cover in the class. But if you'd like to read through it, you can go ahead. Here you can find the course outline of record, which is the actual curriculum through the state of California. If you're interested in education, then that's actually a really interesting thing to check out. Otherwise, it's probably not for you. You do not need to buy a textbook. I have found free texts. We are going to be using, I've already created the reading list. So one of them, I can't remember off the top of my head because I have a bunch of classes, but it's one of these texts. and it's free. So do not buy a textbook. The reason why I've listed these other texts is to supplement your learning. This Miller is the book that I used throughout my undergraduate education. And what I really like about the Miller book is it's very visual. So if you find you're a visual learner and you're struggling with a concept, I suggest looking in that text and searching the PDF for the topic. If you don't know how to do that, message me. I'm happy to help. So free text. And also I've found this Essentials of Environmental Science YouTube channel, which is created by PBS. And they have a playlist that is basically
the environment.
The environmental science playlist. So we are going to view all of these videos. I've scheduled them out over time. And I've also created a study guide so that you can watch the videos. You may have to stop. You may have to use the textbooks to help you, but this will help you understand the concepts better. I've also provided some additional resources so that you can really dive into the level that you're comfortable with, okay? So what we have here is a study guide. And I've also provided a link here in case you don't know how to save your own copy of the study guide so that you can complete it. As you may already have noticed, I try to make the class a little bit different and diverse. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Please just do your best to go with it. Meet me halfway and you'll be successful in the class. I want you to do your best to start to just take more note of your own personal interactions with the environment. We'll begin to learn about what that means and what is living or biotic and what is non-living or abiotic. And we can begin to observe our environment and what is abiotic, what is biotic, without having to go into or far away to observe nature. So I want you to start paying attention more in your daily activities to the nature around you. And hopefully through one of our engaged activities, you'll start to notice things that you didn't before. So what I think a lot of students don't realize is the amount of time that is necessary to succeed in academia. And in this class, it's 12 hours per week requirement. So make sure that you set that time aside so that you can commit to your work. I don't suggest trying to multitask. You will need focus and concentrate, and don't try to do multiple classes at a time. That is not going to help you succeed. The different type of assignments that we do in this class are pretty much reading the videos, reading podcasts sometimes. Like I said, I try to mix it up. 3-2-1 assignments are a modified assignment from my graduate studies at USF in my doctoral program. I made them applicable to our class so that any level of reader can do the reading assignment and still successfully complete the 3-2-1. And I want to let you all know that if you are not a strong reader, because there is no prerequisite in this class for reading, that it is okay to use your immersive reader or to do the reading to your ability. Do what you can do, and each time try to do a little more. And if you get stuck, maybe just jump to the next section. This is about practicing, and I think probably some of you are a little bit intimidated with the science-y nature of this class. And there is, I'm not gonna lie. There is some sciencey stuff. Uh-oh. This isn't the right schedule. Please hold. Okay, we're back. And look, it's the right schedule. Okay, so I am not going to lie. There are some chapters here that may be a little intimidating to some, like matter and energy. I'm not going to test you on, any of this type of information. Environmental science is about broad, holistic topics. It's more about the relationships, the bigger relationships. So I'm not going to ask you about levels of electrons or any of that deep, intricate, very niche stuff that is just, discussed and really evaluated in other classes. Our content is very different. Yes, that's in the foundation of the subject, but what we're talking about here is the culmination of the larger things. So I have provided, there's the readings where we will do the 3, 2, 1. Here are the different viewings of the essentials of environmental science. And then after we finish those, I've found some history of environmental science through Crash Course that I've selected that align with the subject that we study. But I've also over here got some recommended, it's supplemental, so it's not required. But if you don't have a strong biology background, the Amoeba Sisters playlist has great short videos. They're like cartoons that explain the concepts. And I put the ones that, correlate with our class content over here. They also have little handouts, so if you like to do worksheets to help you, you can do that. That's by choice. I'm not requiring you to do it, although maybe once in a while I will, but I'll let you know that week. We will do class discussions. I will try to make them as fun as possible. It's really the only place we can interact in our asynchronous online environment. And what we will do with our discussion is we'll actually share in a way that mimics a peer review process, similar to the scientific peer review process. What you will do in this class is a project. You will be self-selecting a project topic, and I'll go through the process a little bit more in just a second. But with that project, you will share with your classmates, and your your peers will provide you feedback, supportive feedback to make your work better. And then you will submit your final project to me by the end of the course. And then you will also have a final assessment. Now, the final assessment and these Canvas worksheets that I will give you weekly up until kind of the end, they're not set up to trick you. I actually try to make them fairly easy so that you can succeed. They're set so you can do unlimited number of attempts, and the highest grade will be set. So they're not timed, and the final assessment will be the same way. So if you've done all the work, if you've watched all the videos, if you've tried all the readings, you should be okay to pass the final assessment. I'm going to let you read the rest of this on your own, but I do want to touch on this class timeline. So here's what we're going to be doing. In weeks 1 through 4, we're going to explore the subject. 5 through 6, this is when you'll pick something after you've kind of, this is what we're talking about. Maybe I'll take a look at this aspect of environmental science, what's going on with the drought now that we've had this atmospheric river? Are we still in a drought? Was this, part of or an example of a climate change event? Was it not? What about these energy grids that keep going out? What about, there's a lot of stuff going on in our world right now that you could use as the basis of your topic. You'll work on your project in week 7 and 8. And in week 9, you'll have a deliverable. Now, this project is not an essay. So you'll create something. It could be a is that how you say that? A set of Google Slides without a video or a speech. You could do a video if you want. Some students have. I'll show you prior work the students have submitted. You can do a poster, a digital poster. You can do a story map, a sway. There's lots of options, and I'll guide you through that. But in this period of peer review, when you share with your classmates, I think a lot of students think that it's supposed to be their final draft, and it's not. It's supposed to be an initial draft where you can get help from your classmates to kind of move you forward. Now, in the real scientific process, it wouldn't be that way, but we're in an environmental science class in, undergraduate level collegiate studies. So we're doing it our way, and that's okay. So we're here to help each other, and that's where we're going to get to do that. A lot of students get a little worried at that point because they didn't plan well and their work isn't what they would like it to be. So I'm just giving you a little advance warning on that. So in week 12, you'll finalize your project, utilize the feedback you have received, and make adjustments as needed, submit it to me, and then you will do your final assessment. And I give you a week to do the final assessment. So I encourage you to explore the links that are in here. And when you're done, head over to the modules.